The first thing you feel is the burn. A blinding synthetic white light slams against your corneas, forcing your eyes shut violently. Your head is ringing with the hollow, high-pitched scream of tinnitus. You are strapped to a steel chair, but you don't feel the metal. You feel the heavy, damp weight of a canvas hood over your head. You try to move your hands, but the sharp, biting pain of heavy-duty flex cuffs cuts into your wrists. Your breath is shallow, ragged, and hot, recycling the humid air inside the hood. This is not a police station. This is a black site. You know the smell, the ozone from massive server banks, industrial disinfectant, and old fear. Suddenly, the hood is violently ripped off your head. Your eyes scream again. You are staring at a man in a pristine, charcoal gray suit sitting across from you in a sterile concrete room. No windows, no clock. He is holding a file folder with your name on it, stamped in big red letters. Domestic terrorist. "Do you know why you're here, Mr. Smith?" the agent says. His voice is robotic, devoid of any human empathy. I wanted to stop the war," you stammer, your mouth tasting of copper and cotton. The agent doesn't blink. He just leans forward, resting his hands on the table. Behind his dark, unblinking eyes, you don't see anger. You see sheer, deep-seated terror. Because he knows what you did. You didn't just stop a war. You successfully executed a hostile takeover of the world's most powerful military machine. "Start from the beginning," the agent whispers. Level 1. The beginning was exactly 96 hours ago. The year's 2026, after months of devastating cyber attacks on critical American infrastructure attacks. The government conveniently blames on Iran. President Trump stands at a golden podium. His eyes are narrowed, his lips pursed. Iran has committed an act of war on American soil. His voice booms through the speakers of your quiet, 4,000 a month apartment in Seattle. Effective immediately. I am authorizing a massive preemptive strike to terminate their nuclear capabilities. To secure our nation, I am reactivating the Selective Service System. Every male citizen between 18 and 30 is now subject to the draft. Martial law is declared across all major U.S. cities. The internet goes down. Cellular networks fall silent. The cities turn into open-air prisons. The next day, the letter arrives. Not an email. A physical, terrifying white envelope with a government seal. Ordered to report. You are an electrical engineer. You aren't a soldier. You don't know how to shoot. But they don't care. They just need bodies. They are going to send you to die in a foreign desert for a war you do not believe in. You look out your window. The streets of Seattle are a war zone. Protesters are clashing with heavily armed National Guard units. Tear gas canisters are arcing through the smoky air. You see a tank driving down a residential street. The government isn't just fighting Iran. They are fighting the American people. And you decide right then, looking at that tank, that you are not going to be a victim. You are going to fight back, but not with a gun. You are going to use the only weapon you know, data. Back in the interrogation room, you feel the agent's eyes boring into you. "I know your team leaked the classified encryption keys. Mr. Smith, you committed treason." "I revealed the truth," you whisper. And that's when your automated protocol, set exactly 96 hours ago, triggers. A loud, melodic, completely inappropriate beep erupts from a tablet sitting next to the agent. His face instantly loses all color. In your world, that beep is a very specific type of digital distress signal. You look at the agent and you let out a dry, cracked laugh. Main sequence initiated. The agent scrambles to grab his phone, but before he can, the screens mounted on the interrogation room walls, usually displaying sterile data, violently cut to black. The agent freezes. "What have you done?" You don't answer. The screens flick back on, but they aren't displaying data. They are displaying a live national broadcast. A CNN anchor, usually composed, is staring at the camera in abject panic. Behind her, you see people in the newsroom abandoning their desks, screaming. You had compiled every classified document, every satellite photo, every raw communication your team had leaked. Documents that proved the grid attacks weren't from Iran. They were orchestrated by a shadow unit inside the U.S. government itself to manufacture a war. And you didn't just leak it to a newspaper. You used a zero-day exploit to hack into every single TV, radio, and cellular emergency alert system in the United States. Across America, the government's darkest secret is now flashing across every screen in the nation. Proof that the war is a lie. The agent slams his fist on the metal table. "Turn it off! Turn it off now!" "I can't," you say, a genuine smile breaking through the pain. The protocol has been decentralized. Every American with a cell phone just became a carrier of the data. You can't kill it. You just have to live with it. The agent pulls his service weapon and points it directly between your eyes. "I will erase you." "Treason is defined as betraying your country," you say, looking at the gun. Your organization betrayed the American people. Tell me, Agent, who do you think is going to win this interrogation? The agent hesitates, his hand shaking. He has never faced a domestic threat that couldn't be solved with a bullet. You didn't just leak intel. You armed 300 million citizens with the truth. Level 2. Flashback to 72 hours ago. You are on the run in Seattle. Your national hack has just gone live. You are coordinating the rebellion, but you are not on a megaphone. You are in a van filled with server racks, using encrypted, untraceable mesh networks. The city is a scene of raw, glorious, terrifying chaos. The National Guard is now firing live rounds into the crowds. The U.S. government has classified the entire Seattle protest as a domestic insurrection, giving them legal authority to use deadly force. You are using real-time surveillance feeds you've hacked to guide the massive, disorganized crowd. You guide them not toward the police lines, but toward critical infrastructure. You guide them to block the entrance to the Joint Base Lewis McChord, paralyzing the deployment of troops to the airports. You are a civilian directing a tactical rebellion using raw data. You are constantly on the move. Every 2 minutes, you jump out of the van, run 2 blocks, and jump into a different stolen vehicle, because FBI drones are actively hunting for your digital signature. The claustrophobia isn't from 4 walls. It's from the vast open city, where every surveillance camera is a potential eye of the government, looking to kill you. The city is eating itself. You hear the deafening mechanical buzz of predator drones overhead. A missile strikes a building a block away. You feel the heat wave slam against your back, the smell of ozone and burning synthetic materials filling your lungs. You receive a message from your deep state contact. The situation in Washington is in free fall. They can't deploy the military because they are too busy trying to keep their own capitals from burning down. President Trump, increasingly isolated, authorizes the use of Level 1 nuclear assets against Iranian strategic targets to end the crisis definitively. The strike is scheduled for 1800 hours. The clock is now ticking for the entire human race. Flashback to 48 hours ago. You decide to cut the snake's head off. The nuclear launch can only be authorized from a command center, and the main regional backup facility is outside of Omaha, Nebraska. It is a hardened underground bunker disguised as a telecommunications hub. Security is absolute. You and 2 of your top operatives don't go in with guns. You go in with forged NSA contractor IDs and a very specific type of logic bomb. You are in the sterile, air-conditioned hallways of the bunker. The walls are 6 feet of solid concrete lined with lead. Every 10 feet is a retinal scanner. You use a custom-built, hacked tablet to override the security protocols. Stealth POV is pure physical dread. You are moving through the heart of the system that is actively trying to kill you. You can hear the alarms blaring through the halls. The FBI knows someone is in the facility. Your heartbeat is so loud in your ears you can barely think. You use the surveillance system against them, changing the security footage to show an empty hallway as you sprint past the actual cameras. You are 10 minutes away from the strike. The entire bunker is preparing for a simulated nuclear launch. The countdown is broadcast through the loudspeakers. T-minus 10 minutes to primary ignition. The world is ending, and you are trapped in a lead coffin with the people pressing the button.
Level 3.
You reach the blast doors leading into the main command and control room. These doors can survive a direct nuclear strike. Your hacked IDs aren't enough. You physically splice into the security junction box. Your hands are shaking so violently you keep dropping the wire strippers. T-minus 5 minutes. You can hear the specialized FBI teams breaching the facility's main entrance. The floor is vibrating. You connect the last wire. The heavy pressurized seal on the blast doors violently vents, and the massive steel doors swing open. You run into the main command and control room. It is a massive, dimly lit, multi-level chamber filled with screens. In the center is a pit where 20 junior launch officers sit. And above them, on a balcony, are the 3 ranking officers who hold the actual launch keys. Everything freezes. The launch officers stare at you. "Halt!" the senior commander screams, pulling his weapon. "I am an NSA-authorized nuclear auditor." You say, your voice remarkably calm, lying your way through the final act. There is a digital validation failure in your launch system. If you turn those keys, the missile guidance system will fail and detonate the warheads in the silo. You will vaporize half of Nebraska. The senior officer hesitates. In your world, the most dangerous weapon is doubt. He has no way of verifying your ID. He doesn't know you're the domestic terrorist. T-minus 3 minutes. While he hesitates, you don't use your mouth. You use your tablet. You don't try to hack the launch sequence itself. It's analog and completely mechanical. You hack the environmental control system. You trigger a simulated meltdown alarm. A deafening klaxon erupts. Red emergency lights start to strobe. Massive fire suppression vents open. blasting the room with cryogenic gas, dropping the temperature by 30 degrees in 5 seconds. It is designed to extinguish fires, but for the humans in the room, it is pure paralyzing panic. The screens violently cut to red, displaying a simulated core breach. The launch officers in the pit panic and abandon their stations, screaming about radiation. The senior commander, his visibility reduced to 0 by the fog, fires blindly toward you. A bullet whizzes past your ear. You dive under a server console. You can hear the FBI team's Darvazatore Hue directly outside the blast door. You don't have time to be delicate. You physically tear the lead off of main data, bundle and violently twist the raw copper wires together, completely shorting out the bunker's main data trunk. Ozone fills the air. Server racks catch fire with a bright, harsh blue electrical flash. The main screens violently fade to black. The beeping stops. The launch lights on the wall go dead. The analog countdown clock on the wall, set to automatically disable if data is lost, freezes. T-minus 1.03, launch aborted. The blast doors are violently breached by the FBI tactical teams. The room is filled with flashbangs, blinding light, deafening noise. You are thrown violently onto the floor. You feel a heavy boot slam against your neck, pressing your face into the cold concrete. You look up from the floor, your vision blurry, but you can see the analog clock on the wall. 1:03, you did it. The world didn't end. They drag you to your feet, but you can hear the screams of frustration from the FBI teams. They are too late. The nuclear codes are invalid. The system is shorted out. World War III is canceled. Endgame, the breach. Back in the interrogation black site, the present day. The CNN anchor on the screen is still speaking frantically, reporting on a complete governmental freefall. President Trump is reportedly in his bunker. The Joint Chiefs are resigning. You look across the table at the agent. He has lowered his gun. He isn't holding his gun because he realizes it is useless. The entire apparatus that gave him power, the laws, the chains of command, the digital secrecy. You didn't just break it. You vaporized it. You feel a vibration in the room, not a cyber attack. It is a physical tectonic tremor. It is the sound of hundreds of thousands of people. The agent's encrypted phone buzzes with an emergency alert. You see him look at the screen, and for the first time you see pure, unfiltered helplessness. I revealed your secret, agent, you say, your voice deep and resonant. And the secret was that the American people are only prisoners as long as they believe the walls are real. And you just gave them proof that the walls were always built out of lies. The heavy lead blast door of the interrogation room, designed to survive a direct nuclear hit, begins to shudder under a different kind of pressure. You hear the deafening chant of thousands of voices, the sound of hundreds of physical bodies slamming against the steel door. Protesters have tracked the FBI's surveillance vans and found your black site. You did it, the agent whispers, his face a hollow mask. No, you say, looking at the door as it begins to buckle and bend inward, under the massive weight of the people outside. We did it. The main lock on the blast door violently shatters with a loud, mechanical scream, and the door is ripped open by 100 hands, flooding the sterile concrete room with raw, blinding sunlight. You don't see soldiers. You don't see FBI. You see normal, everyday American citizens in tracksuits, nurse uniforms, and t-shirts. They aren't holding guns. They are holding hope. As they pull you from your steel chair, the agent, still sitting across the table, looks up at the massive, crushing crowd that has just breached his kingdom. He looks at you, and he realizes that you were never the domestic terrorist. He was just the jailer, and you just handed every single prisoner the keys. You step out into the blinding, warm sunlight of the new world. There is no war. There is no draft. There is only tomorrow morning. And for the first time in your entire life, the choice of what that tomorrow looks like is yours.